That's one of the beauties of communities living sustainably is we've got this power to convene new conversations, bringing together people that wouldn't normally meet, conservationists, farmers, public health professionals, interested members of the public, community activists. We can stimulate enough interest in working together that this conversation will carry on.
Square Meal does not propose to have all the answers. It's setting out to invite others to join that conversation. It wants to start a national debate on what our food and farming system could be. And we're here today in Dorset to invite others to join that debate, to amplify the conversation.
I'm actually feeling quite optimistic at the moment. I think there are various signs of change. For example, things like the ageing population of farmers is causing so much worry about who the next generation of farmers is going to be, is meaning that there are quite a lot more people going to agricultural colleges.
Doctors do not recognise as food being related to health. Counsellors don't recognise food being related to health. So in my book, unless counsellors and the medical profession, physiotherapists, people that see people who have weight problems all the time, unless they really can understand the fundamental difference that good food makes to people's health, then we've got a real problem. Dorset, it appears, has a lot of really good food culture. The impact on health and work with communities seems to be very dependent on individuals in individual places rather than any coherent policy that I could see anyway.
And some real barriers that can be removed at a local level with the help of residents in Dorset. And I feel really strongly that language is something that we can start with and communicate better and signpost better to what information and services are out there for people to use if they so wish.
We looked at how we might integrate farmers and farming and the whole farming community more effectively into the places that they want to supply food into, whether that's their local village, whether that's the nearest conurbation, so that there was a sense of identity over where food was coming from and who was supplying that food and how it was being supplied. So it was kind of adding value to the experience of eating food by understanding those origins of it.
We need the good choices for sustainable local food to not be niche choices which are a lot more expensive. We need the products that are made that have an environmental cost to be more expensive than the ones that are just the right ones to choose. And without change at a policy level and a subsidy level, I think it's going to be an uphill battle to get the majority of consumers making those choices.
A future might look different to what we've got at the moment. So the Land Workers Alliance and the NFU are in agreement that we need to be talking in a way that people feel comfortable about buying local food, don't see it as a luxury, it's accessible to them, policy supports that sort of work. And if that can happen, then people that you would assume to be on opposite sides of the story can work side by side.
Sometimes you can't just educate people, you can't just say, come on in, we'll teach you how to cook. You kind of have to wrap it up, you have to incentivise it in a way that they want to engage and that means something to them and gets them engaged more effectively with what you're trying to achieve.
We need to inspire people to actually want to make that informed choice as well. So it's educating not only the consumers so they can go in and make a choice which food they buy, but it's educating landowners, educating the educators, and then getting people out and inspired about wildlife and nature in Dorset.
As I suspect all the other groups are saying, it's around increased understanding amongst local people and producers about what local can do for you personally. By doing or following such a course of action, you are actually benefiting yourself health-wise and also benefiting society in any number of other ways.
Funny enough, I read through the Land Workers Alliance response to the Square Meal report, and there's an awful lot of it, and a headline which is exactly what we campaigned for.
It really is for us to be able to empower residents to be able to have a greater choice, and perhaps with the food producers and with those who want to promote healthy living, is to try and get over the barriers of where that food is available from. And local authorities might be able to assist with that, particularly when it comes to the complex network of public transport that we have.
Actually, one of the take-homes for me today has been that we ought to be persuading the local authorities to show some leadership here. That's one of the things that I think the NFU can really do to help inform the next generation.
the ideas that fit the square meal ethos are actually already happening at a local level. And if you want to see really innovative thinking and pilot schemes that are already working, then you need to go out and start speaking to people regionally and locally, because that's where the ideas are happening that fits the square meal.
I'm involved in this work because we can make a difference every time we spend money on food. We can make a decision to use that money to directly invest in the food system we want. And we're very lucky in this county because we're surrounded by such fantastic producers, and I think they deserve our support.